Ask that the chamber come to order. I now call to order the City Council meeting. If all that would like to or are able to, please rise for the invocation led by Reverend Lynn, Bullard, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by members of the Greater Huntsville chapter of Jack and Jill of America.
Let us pray. Gracious God, send down upon those who hold office in this city, especially our mayor and our city council leaders, the spirit of wisdom, of charity, and of justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people. In your holy name we ask. Amen.
You please lead us in the pledge. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Reverend Bullard, would you mind please coming back to the microphone? We want to thank you. And then also, I know you're very involved with the homeless community here in Huntsville and in helping many other people. Could you tell us what's going on right now? I know it's cold out there.
I'm changing hats. I'm now representing the Board of Directors for the North Alabama Coalition of the Homeless. And I just wanted to share with you that so far the warming centers that have been set up are working really well. A Grateful Life Community Church, which is located on Oakwood, opened its doors yesterday afternoon. About 54 individuals were there, along with, I think, 3 or 4 dogs. The evening went smoothly. I talked with their pastor, Sherry Burney, this afternoon, and everything went well. Manna House was very generous with food. Matter of fact, I was invited to stay and have a chicken salad sandwich that a little restaurant here in town had donated a large quantity of chicken salad. But it went well. No problems. Everything was smooth as silk, and we have a wonderful community. People were stopping by, dropping off things, just giving them checks to help cover the utility bill. And we're just very blessed to live in such a compassionate city, and just keep it coming. More compassion and more charity. It's good for us all.
Thank you very much. The minutes from the regular meeting held December 18, 2004 have been received and they'll stand approved if there's no objections. We're now at resolutions and special recognitions. Mayor, you have the floor.
Mr. President, if we could ask Kenny Anderson to come forward. He is the City Multicultural Affairs Officer, and also he is working with CAFY, and we have a Student of the Month to recognize today.
Good evening, everyone. We have a very special recognition to make tonight, and I'm going to ask the CAFY team if they would come up at this time and join me. Each month we select a person who is doing something outstanding in our community, and we're very proud to recognize this young man this evening. His name is Jackson Campbell. Come on up, Jackson. Jackson is in the 12th grade at Grissom High. He is responsible for executing the Grissom JROTC Wounded Warrior 5K run that raises about $8,000 per year. That goes to the Wounded Warrior Project. Give it up for him for that alone. But in addition to that, he also works with Special Olympics support, the Rocket Man triathlete. Looks like he's in great shape. Laying wreath on veterans' graves teams, the Veterans Day Parade, and so much more. He's also been named the top cadet, winning the Superior Cadet Award. We want to congratulate Jackson this evening on this awesome accomplishment for being named CAFY Young Citizen of the Month for the month of January 2015. And I have a certificate to present to you, and there's some other people that want to give you some things also. I'll start with the mayor here and then some other folks.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Sir, you missed your Kodak moment. You got to shake the mayor's hand and look at the camera. Now look at the camera. There you go.
Always look where your mom and dad are.
Okay.
Well, I tell you, young man, ROTC, near and dear to my heart. I know what it takes to be the battalion commander, so kudos to you. And on behalf of Huntsville Utilities, we would like to give you something for your mind, your body, and your spirit. And so we'll start out with the mind. We have an iPad here cover for you with the notebook. Might have to still get the iPad, but I'll start at you on your way, okay? And we have something here for, the body, a nice cooler to carry some nutritious food in as you stay in shape to serve at military. And then just to get the spirit going a little bit, we have a gift card for you. So congratulations, young man.
Sir, on behalf of the Human Relations Commission, we appreciate all you do for this community. We want you to continue to do those things, and if there's anything we can do, please let us know. So congratulations again, and we're happy for you.
On behalf of Rocket City Broadcasting and Star 99, I want to congratulate you, and I have something with me to give you that's more fun than hairy stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor Battle. For adoption only tonight, we have a resolution recognizing Cynthia M.A. Butler McIntyre as the 24th National President of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. and guest speaker for the 30th anniversary of the Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Breakfast, sponsored by Delta Theta Lambda Education Foundation, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Incorporated.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Kling, a second by Mr. Culver. Discussion. All those in favor of the resolution say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. B is a resolution recognizing Brother Mark Stewart Tillman as the 34th elected General President of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Incorporated during the 30th anniversary of the Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Breakfast, sponsored by Delta Theta Lambda Education Foundation, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Incorporated.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Kling, second by Mr. Culver. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. We have a special recognition tonight. We have presentations from the Council to the Council on International Education Exchange, high school students. This is a group sponsored by the United States Department of State. I'd like to call Mr. Jim Powers up to the microphone, please. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Powers. If you could, tell us about your program and introduce your students.
Okay, thank you. We work with international students from all over the world. CIEE is the name of the organization, and we bring about 1,500 students into the country each year. And like I said, they're from all over the world. And we're sponsored by the U.S. Department of State. It is considered one of the most effective forms of public diplomacy, and it doesn't cost anything because the host families are volunteers. And I would like to just introduce the students that I have with me today, and if they would stand and just say hello to the crowd when I call your name. The first student is George Yan from China. Next to him is Yuhang Zhang from China also. Yehia Abu Dagman from Lebanon. Sophie Shoemaker from Germany. Sebastian Hitzka from Germany also. And I need to look at the next one. Katya Lomtatsa from Germany. I'm from Georgia, and not the Georgia next door. Okay, those are the students that we have with us today from different countries, and welcome, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for being here. Ms. Powers, could you tell us about your day or what you've done in Huntsville?
Well, my day-to-day was I went to work, And then as I left early to go pick up students to bring to, first we went to the Mo Brooks office, Huntsville office, and met with his staff, had a great meeting. Then we came here and had a wonderful meeting with the mayor and his, what's the multicultural officer. And we are here visiting your council meeting now, and are privileged to be here.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask Michelle Jordan to come to the microphone. Ms. Jordan, if you would, please introduce your Jack and Jill students.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Russell. We have the Greater Huntsville chapter of Jack and Jill students here today in our age group category, 2nd grade to 5th grade. And Jack and Jillers, will you stand for me? Thank you so much. They got to have a budget presentation from Kenneth Binion, our Community Development Director today, and the mayor came by and explained how important it was for them to buy things in the city of Huntsville and pay city taxes on their items. They got that and heard it clear. We have several students representing many families, but maybe they can all just wave at council. You want to wave to the mayor and tell him thank you for coming to see us, and we thank you so much for letting us do the pledge today.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Russell.
Thank you. We have no business with outside legal representation. We have no public hearings to be held. We do have a public hearing to be set. We have a resolution to declare public nuisance located at 2704 Sparkman Drive, Northwest, Huntsville, Alabama, and to set the date when objections will be heard. This will be set for January 22nd, 2015. And before I entertain our motion, I want Mr. Binion to tell us what this is about. Mr. Binion?
Yes, this is a state ordinance 71-1320, and it's a junk notice that we're issuing at this particular house on Sparkman, and you see the photos here showing the junk that's within outside of the property. What we're asking you to do is declare it a public nuisance, and under this state ordinance, we will come back at the next council meeting and ask you, hear any objections, and ask you to give us permission to abate that nuisance. Under this particular state law, when we take this procedure, we can add the cost of the abating the nuisance to the property taxes, which would be then collected between October and December of this year.
Thank you, Mr. Binion. So I move to approve the resolution to declare public nuisance located at 2704 Sparkman Drive, Northwest, Huntsville, Alabama, and to set the date when objections will be heard for January 22nd, 2015 at the regular council meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Robinson. Discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. Round of communications from the public. When I call your name, please restate your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to address the council. Mr. Rusty Losell.
Good evening. My name is Rusty Loisel. I live in Hearthstone Circle in South Huntsville. I just wanted to let everybody know that Help Our Homeless Veterans and Citizens is still alive and well. We're out there beating the bushes with our unfortunate friends that have to live in the woods because they can't afford a home. Last year was a tough year, but we struggled through it. I think we've come to a meeting of the minds with some of our city members, and I think we have quite a few people on the council right now that understand that it's not fun being in the cold, living in the woods, and we need to do something better than what we have been doing in the past. The rut we've been in the past has not been working very well, and we've been able to make some changes throughout this year. We've been able to network with quite a few different groups, churches. We network with what's called the Coupon Patrol, and they literally bring us thousands of dollars worth of food that they get for pennies on the dollar. And we're able to help our homeless veterans and citizens survive a little less miserable existence by giving them the things that they need. And the last coupon patrol outing that we had that came to my house, we had the pleasure of having our esteemed Dr. Jenny Robinson there with us, and we were very happy about that. I'm very happy that we're working with the city about the tiny home project still. It's not off the table, and it's just a matter of working out logistics. These people don't deserve to live in a cardboard box, believe me, and none of us would like to be outside right now without a coat on. But there's many of them that are. But we've got people now like the Grateful Life Church that stepped up without prodding. Like last year, we had to beg to have a place opened. This year, Grateful Life Church didn't bat an eye. They opened up their warming center yesterday at noon. They'll close at noon on Friday. And I know they're well stocked with food. I gave them 50 boxes of MREs. So I think a lot of people like those MREs, especially the old jarheads. They love that stuff. But I just wanted to let everybody know that things are moving in a positive direction, and we're happy that all you folks are working with us, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now at 8, Huntsville utility items. 8A is a resolution authorizing approval to purchase IBM hardware and software service support. 8B is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a tri-party agreement among TVA, City of Huntsville, and Science and Engineering Services, LLC, allowing Science and Engineering Services, LLC, to participate in the Valley Investment Initiative. C is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a tri-party agreement among TVA, City of Huntsville, and Tyco Fire Products, LP, allowing Tyco Fire Products, LP, to participate in the Valley Investment Initiative. Council members, are there any of those three you'd like to hold out for further discussion? And the chair moves for consolidation approval of 8A through C.
Second.
Second by Dr. Robinson. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. 8D is for introduction only. It is an introduction of an ordinance on water backflow prevention and cross connection. Mr. Gertis, could you explain this, please?
What this will do, Mr. Russell, is bring us in line with the regulations of the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. It also establishes some misdemeanor violations for improper use of water.
Thank you. And so this has been properly introduced, and we'll vote on it at our next regular council meeting.
Thank you.
Mr. Kling, did you want to ask any questions about gas rates?
Well, Mr. President, I think at the last two council meetings, we've had citizens that had raised that, and I think with the weather being what it is, and from what I've seen in the stock market, oil, natural gas prices have dropped on the market. So I guess the question comes up, can you talk to us about what possible plans might be for rate decreases since the supply coming into Huntsville Utilities, that cost seems to have been dropping?
It's a little misleading, Councilman, because the gas spot market, which is where all gas utilities purchase their gas, is extremely volatile. It's painted by some as the most volatile commodity market in the world. Because of its abundance and because of some of the technology and drilling, it has become less expensive over the last decade. But I have good news. Since 2005, with the exception of 1 year, our rates for natural gas have decreased every year until 2012. Right now, we have a stable rate for gas. Currently, we're charging roughly $5 less than the current going rate for delivered natural gas in the country, which is around $13.15. Our rate for million cubic feet is $8.71. When you see what gas is being traded for, that's a little deceptive for the customer because there are a lot of costs that aren't associated with just the purchase of the gas. You also have to deliver that gas and the system that it's used to deliver. There are charges associated with that. I say all that, and I want to add that in looking at over the last roughly 3 years, the spot market price for gas has only been below our rate for about 3 total months. So we offer a very stable and competitive rate for natural gas, and we do that through it's a very complicated process, I've come to learn, of futures purchasing and taking advantage of our storage capacity buying gas when it's not in high demand, when it's as cheap as we think we can get it, and we'll buy that in portions for years out so that we can keep that rate stable. If we didn't do that, what our customers would see and be subject to is a rate that does this. And when the market's way up there, which it recently has been, as recent as last winter when we were going through weather much like we are now, they would be paying sky-high prices for gas. Because our people take a lot of time and effort in securing it at an affordable price, our customers aren't subject to that volatility. Does that answer your question, Councilman?
I guess so, so I guess there's no great announcement coming.
No, sir, but
Can't blame us for asking.
But no, absolutely not. But what we want our customers to know is that we work very hard to keep that rate very affordable, very stable. We have people whose only job it is to watch that commodity and buy gas when we can get as cheap as we can.
I guess the oil on the spot market, that doesn't really impact y'all because your supply comes from TVA, does it?
Not crude oil. You know, oil and gas are associated somewhat, but when they advanced the technologies for drilling, gas became almost immediately more abundant, and that did drive the price down. But it's in high demand all around the world, natural gas, and that makes the market extremely volatile. And then with the weather that we've been experiencing over these last few years, it makes it also somewhat hard to predict.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Kling. We have two board appointments voted on. We have a resolution to reappoint H. Harold Stevens to the Special Care Facilities Financing Authority of the City of Huntsville Redstone Village for a term to expire on November 11, 2019. The chair moves for approval.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kling. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. We have a resolution to appoint Jeff Johnson to the Land Trust of North Alabama Board of Directors for a term to expire December 31st, 2016. The chair moves for approval.
Second.
Second by Mr. Culver. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. Council members, do you have board appointment nominations? The chair nominates, moves for reappointment of Douglas C. Martinson II to the Huntsville Public Library Board for a 4-year term to begin 2/10/2015 and end 2/10/2019. Are there other nominations? We're now at 10, approval of expenditures. 10A is a resolution authorizing expenditures for payment. Mr. Kling.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Showers is under the weather, and he will be back at the next meeting. I'd like to move for payment of vouchers in the amount of $12,324,860.21.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Kling, second by Mr. Culver. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. Mr. Kling, do you have a Finance Committee report?
Yes, I'd like to turn the floor over to the Finance Director, Randy Taylor, who's going to talk about money.
Council members and Mayor, we have only one figure to report to you tonight. That's our sales tax collections for the month of December. That would be based on November retail sales. So the collections for the month of December were 3.6% higher than they were the previous December. And year-to-date, which would now be 3 months collected, would put us at 4.2% above our requirement, above the previous 3 months. So that's higher than our 3.0% budget requirement, which is good news. The largest month that we really want to know, we'll know a month from now, because the December sales will be reported to us later in January. So.
Thank you. Mayor Battle.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight, for the record, I'd like to make the following appointments. And 2 of these appointments are mayoral appointments, but they require council approval. Grippa Luther to the Research Park Board for a partial term to expire 7/22/2018. Kim Lewis to the Research Park Board for a partial term to expire 7/22/2019.
Council members, all those in favor of the mayor's appointment of Grip Luther to the Cummings Research Park Board, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. All those in favor of the mayor's appointment of Kim Lewis to the Research Park Board, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. Go ahead, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Both Mr. Luther is in commercial real estate and works a lot of projects out in Research Park, so he will be an added dimension to Research Park Board. Kim Lewis just purchased the BizTech building down on Sparkman Drive. She and her husband are an XYZ business, and they work there on a regular basis, so they are part of Research Park, so I think that they will be an added addition to Research Park. I also have the appointment of Jim Owens to the Land Trust Board of North Alabama effective January 1st, 2015 for the 6-year term to expire 12/31/2021. This one does not need council approval, so just wanted to notify you of that. And I really want to thank all the groups who helped us throughout the holiday season. Whether it was ice skating behind the art museum or whether it was feeding people who were in need of food, through Manor House and through Remington, who provided boxes of foods to families in need, or whether it was City of Huntsville employees who adopted angels through Downtown Inc. for coordinating Tinsel Trails. You made it a great holiday season. We want to say thank you to each of you. You did a wonderful job. You made this community better. You made it a great community for the holiday season, and it's something that we hope that we can keep year-round. Skating in the park has been extended until January 19th. I will guarantee that there will be hard frozen ice tonight and the rest of the week. So if you want to come down and come down to the back side of the Art Museum, please come down and join the fun. And there will be a Preserve Huntsville meeting, which will be held on January 15th at the Public Services Building at 6 o'clock. And it's going to be talking about on 320 Fountain Road. It's talking about the 1,735 homes in Huntsville's historic districts that range in age from the 1800s to the 1960s. These historic properties are part of our heritage, and we will be having 3 speakers there. Katie Stamps from Redstone Arsenal, architectural historian, and also a member of our Huntsville Historic Preservation Commission member will be speaking. Jessica White, our City of Huntsville Historic Preservation consultant, will be speaking. And Donna Castellano, Executive Director of the Historic Huntsville Foundation. This will be a great education process to go through on our historic buildings that we have here in Huntsville. Thank you, and I hope everybody has a wonderful 2015. I think it's going to be a great year for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Battle. Mr. Culver.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to echo some of the things that Mayor Battle has already commented on, I want to likewise thank Reverend Lynn, Bullard, and Mr. Rusty Loisel for their work, and other individuals who participated in taking care of our homeless. And this is an ongoing process. I have to admit that, well, first of all, in 2015, if we can put man on the moon, we can certainly fix our homeless problems. And we're certainly making great strides in the right direction. And I have to admit, Mr. Loisel, that tiny house that I went in on a very cold night after council one evening, it really works well. I'm really impressed with it. It does work. So you all keep up the good work with that. Also, and Mr. Hatfield, is Mr. Hatfield here? And Mr. Hatfield, I was going to give you a little more information on that. I got your email. The potholes on Old Madison Pike, I had told some of my residents there that I would mention this tonight at the council. There's about a 3-foot hole on the northbound, the westbound lane near Sherwood Park Baptist Church. And if we can certainly try and take care of that, I know you all have a ton of potholes that are cropping up everywhere, so with the cold weather. Also, is Shane Davis here, or Representative Kathy Martin? Just a quick question. I got an inquiry also regarding the seemingly premature closing of the intersection of Wind Drive right there near Calhoun before the intersection is completed. Could you tell me what's happening with that?
Councilman Culver, we closed Wind Drive this week, as you're aware.
Yes.
AT&T and Huntsville Utilities, both water and gas, is relocating utilities in preparation for the Wind Drive relocation. Formerly, when that was two Chrysler facilities underneath Wind Drive, there's actually a tunnel that used to be an old employee tunnel, and we had to condemn that and demolition it so the utilities come up the new route. So that was the reason for the closure.
Okay. How long is that anticipated to be closed?
It would probably close through fall of this year. We expect to start the relocation of Wind Drive construction in March.
Okay.
It'll take about 6 to 7 months to complete.
Okay. Okay.
We will get finished as quickly as possible, though.
Okay. All right, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you so kindly. Thank you, Mr. Hatfield, as well. That's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Culver. Mr. Kling?
Thank you, Mr. President. Certainly want to wish everybody a happy new year and hope it's going to be a warmer one before it's all over. A little bit on a somber note, there are some two fine people that passed away. Pam Riley, who had been a City of Huntsville employee for many years, passed away recently, and she will be missed. Also, Mr. Bill Rendell, who had been very active in the Holiday Homes Neighborhood Association during the years that it was started up for the last 5 years, passed away, and he had been a great advocate for that neighborhood, and we're going to miss him. Two meetings that took place this week that show that we're getting off to a good, quick start in the neighborhoods. Monday night, there was a joint meeting between the residents of Holiday Homes and Merrimack. Mr. Hamilton, Mr. Patterson from the city were there to present plans and options concerning the proposed Jim Merrick Park and how the design would go and how whether or not Cedar Avenue would be closed. And it was a very good meeting. Good presentations were made, options were shown, and then the residents in attendance from both neighborhoods voted by a 34-2 vote to go ahead with the consolidated park plan that did close Cedar Avenue. But I appreciate all the good work that was done by the city officials to answer questions, provide options, and pass along good information for the neighborhoods. I think when that park is completed, it'll be a great asset for both Holiday Homes and also for Merrimack. Last night, I braved the cool weather to come out. There's some leaders from the West Lawn neighborhood who met over at the West Police Precinct, and they are working with the Citywide Community Watch Organization and Johnny Hollingsworth to start up a new community watch organization for their neighborhood. And it's going to be a great asset. As I said, Mr. President, before, I think the 200 chapters that we have of Community Watch in neighborhoods throughout the city, I think are one of the best assets we have. And we're fortunate, and the relationship between the police department and those neighborhood organizations throughout the city, I think has certainly been a very big plus. And we're looking for good things to keep happening in those neighborhoods. That's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Robinson?
As the mayor mentioned, there are lots of folks who are doing great things over the holidays and providing lots of great activities. And in addition to those, there were also people who were providing for those who weren't at those activities because of various challenges in their life. And I was really impressed with Manor House on Christmas Eve. Happened to be there to drop some things off, and Fran Fluler was running that place like an Army sergeant and meeting the needs of hundreds of people who were on Christmas Eve in the cold coming to her doors. I also saw the Rotary Club of Greater Huntsville give out hundreds of turkeys and hams in cooperation with Landers McClarty. A great partnership there. And then thank you to Rusty Loisel for inviting me to come over. I was going to mention that anyway, and he beat me to it. But the thing that impressed me about that visit, he just asked me to come over and observe. He happens to live down in my area, which I didn't know. I was glad to find that out. But it was a day where it was pouring. And we were intense watching the Coupon Club unload all this stuff that they had got. Basically, stores had paid them to take it because of how they were able to use coupons effectively. But I thought about other folks who would be served who also would be in the rain in those tents. And so I thought it was very appropriate, actually, as it turned out. So thank you all for the work that you've done there. The city work continues to go on during the holidays. While the rest of us are off, the city staff was continually responding to my emails, the most memorable of which was my text to Shane Cook on New Year's Day regarding raw sewage that was coming up in a neighbor's yard. And I got to, on New Year's Day, my most memorable New Year's Day, getting to go look at raw sewage, and which was appropriate given how the bowl games worked out that day. But so I appreciate Shane and how responsive he was in taking care of that issue in the middle of his holiday as well. I'm starting the new year right with a couple of New Year's resolutions. The first is to follow through on some discussions I had with some folks this summer about starting a South Huntsville Business Association. And we're actually going to have an organizing meeting on Tuesday, January 13th at 3 o'clock at the Rosie's on South Parkway. This is something that David Martin, the owner of Rosie's and Stakeout, and I have been working on for a couple of months now with Phil Riddick and a couple of other folks, and we are really excited. I've had a good response from business owners in South Huntsville. It's going to be important not only for creating that commercial corridor to serve the arsenal in South Huntsville that will help revitalize that part of the South Parkway, but it will also be an important point of contact for city staff as the overpasses are built. They will be able to facilitate getting the information out and make that process work more smoothly. So it's really timely that we get that stood up and running. So that's going to be starting this next Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing that go forward. Harrison Diamond and Dennis Madsen have been particularly helpful to us in that, and we're grateful for their participation. Also, I have scheduled 4 town hall meetings for this year, the first of which will be January 29th at 6:30 at Bailey Cove Library. It's largely just going to be a get-to-know-you meeting. I'm going to introduce myself to folks who don't know me, and for those who do, to come, and we're just going to talk about issues that are of interest to South Huntsville. We started a little bit of that process last night by meeting with the Huntsville South Board, talking about issues, and we will expand that conversation then at this town hall meeting. So wish everybody a great, happy New Year, and look forward to really great things happening in Huntsville this year.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. I want to add a thank you to all the city employees that are working in the cold weather. It is quite cold out there, and I know that I dread walking out in it, so I can't imagine having to work in it. So I want to thank you, police, fire, public works, recreation, everyone. They all know who they are, but it's especially I'm especially appreciative at this time of year for all the work they do. And Mr. Curtis, if you could tell the Huntsville utility workers also thank you. Last night I was expecting to hear about some power issues and didn't hear of any, and my understanding is everyone was well served through the night and we kept everybody warm. So please pass on the thank you to the guys that brave the elements and keep our power on. Council members and the public will be having a work session in these chambers next Thursday at 5 p.m. On the agenda are the discussion of John Hunk Park plans, an item that we've been working on for many years and excited about the progress. And also we'll have a presentation from a not-for-profit, nonprofit, Success for the Future. If there are any other items you'd like to add, just please notify the chair sometime before the meeting. We're now at 13 unfinished business items for action. 13A is ordinance number 14-969, annexing of land lying north of Zert Road and on the east and west sides of Arnett Road. This was introduced December 18, 2014 at the regular council meeting. Ms. Nichols, could you explain this, please?
This property is approximately 2.09 acres. It's located north of Zert Road and on the east and west sides of Arnett. The current use of this property is a single-family detached dwelling. The property owners would like to petition for annexation in order to receive city services.
Thank you, Ms. Nichols. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Kling, second by Dr. Robinson. Discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. 13B is ordinance number 14-970, amending Chapter 3, Article 2, Subsection C of Section 3-27, Arts and Entertainment District Ordinance of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Huntsville, Alabama, to establish the Quigley District and Entertainment District 2 Meridian District. This was introduced December 18, 2014 at the regular council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Let me get an explanation first.
Absolutely right, Mr. President. It's good news. So.
That's good news. Council members' action before you tonight is to modify the existing downtown Quigley district. We're going to add some new sites, sites that are going to be developed or have already been developed for downtown. This is roughly 30 acres.
Mr. McGuffey, could you introduce yourself, please, for the record?
Jim McGuffey, Planning Department.
Thank you. Chair moves for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Kling. Discussion?
I do have a question. Since I'm the new kid on the block, I'll ask the question that a number of people have asked me, and I can't give them a good answer. Why are we calling it the Quigley District?
It's the district we designated. It's a name of this district. It's what we came up with when we first did it 2 years ago in 2013.
I believe the map calls it Quigley from a long.
So it's
really
just the
old
name
map.
of the original map of Huntsville
right.
was created by somebody named Mr. Quigley. We don't know much about him, but so it's not honoring anybody in particular. It's just.
It's not honoring, but I'm not
There's
sure they
a-
created the map. I think
it was a historically significant area of the early
so-
years. Sort of like an earlier version of like Twickenham, for example.
Okay.
And Mr. McGuffey, the areas, just so we'll understand it covers like Holmes Avenue, some of the new development over there, the public shopping center, Twickenham Square.
Correct. Twickenham Square, the old Coke site, the Avenue.
Okay.
301 East on Holmes Avenue, and then connecting streets to those sites.
And does it has the Holiday Inn, the old Holiday Inn site?
It's on there. It was on there. So
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And you'll, after we approve this, you'll mark those streets and sidewalks so everybody knows where the district is?
We will. Once the weather permits, we'll get out and add the new district boundaries on the sidewalks.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Mr. President, just a general comment. I know that the planning department and zoning, everybody have been working on this for a long period of time. I think the process has been good. I know I was kind of gung-ho in that I'd like to have seen it happen faster, but the city departments, police department, all the city departments have worked well to make it work. The positives I've heard from citizens in the community, throughout the community, from business owners. I think it's nice to know that we've got some pretty good things that are taking place downtown. And not only are these things that really don't cost us city money per se, but they actually generate additional revenue by bringing people from out of town and people, in the community downtown instead of just staying at home. So it's nice that we have creative things downtown.
Thank you, Mr. Kling. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. C is ordinance number 14-971, amending Section 2 of ordinance number 11-259 regarding the beautification board. This was introduced December 18, 2014 at the regular council meeting. Ms. McKee, can you explain this, please?
Yes, Joy McKee, Landscape Management. This is actually two amendments changing the beautification board current ordinance. The first one, it has to do with the eligibility of a board member, and it makes it read as a bona fide resident or citizen of Huntsville, Alabama. And the second is plan to have the Beautification Awards program and businesses charge a $25 charge to be able to have that as an administrative fee.
Thank you. Chair moves for approval.
Second.
Second by Dr. Robinson. Discussion?
I'm assuming that anybody who's on the board who doesn't meet that eligibility requirement would be able to serve out their term.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct. And it is stated in the ordinance.
Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. We have no new business items for introduction. We do have new business items for consideration and action. The chair would like to hold 15F and 15J. Are there other items you'd like to hold? Hearing none. 15A is an ordinance declaring certain equipment surplus and donating to the Huntsville Area Crime Stoppers. B is a resolution authorizing the mayor to a reimbursable agreement between the City of Huntsville and the Alabama Department of Transportation for relocation of utility facilities on private or public right-of-way work for Memorial Parkway north of Whitesburg Drive to south of Gulf Road, projects number NHF 0053531 and 6509 SS08. C is a resolution authorizing the mayor to agreement between the City of Huntsville and Pearson and Wright, LLC for stormwater detention facility maintenance. D is a resolution authorizing the city attorney to settle the lawsuit of Denise Forden versus City of Huntsville. E is a resolution authorizing the clerk treasurer to invoke Progress Bank letter credit number 90000049300 for Legacy Preserve subdivision. G is an ordinance amending budget ordinance number 14-665 by changing and appropriating funding for various departments and funds. H is a resolution authorizing the mayor an agreement between the City of Huntsville and Croy Engineering LLC for engineering services for John Hutton Master Plan Section 1A located on Airport Road. I is a resolution authorizing the mayor an agreement between the City of Huntsville and SNN Electric Inc. for the installation of one natural gas generator located at 4209 East Scrimpture Lane. K is a resolution authorizing the mayor to apply for and execute a fiscal year 2015 EPA air grant in the amount of $100,000 in federal funding to support the city's air pollution control program. The chair moves for consolidation approval of 15A through E, 15G through I, and 15K. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Culver. All those in favor of consolidation approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. We're now at 15F. 15F is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter agreements with the low bidders, meaning specifications outline and attached summary of bids for acceptance. The chair moves for approval.
Second.
Second by Dr. Robinson. Mr. Taylor, my understanding you wanted to add something to this
yes,
resolution?
Mr. Russell. There are 3 items on the document that you have, the resolution, and 2 items were supposed to have been included. We just had a paperwork issue today. But these bids were open today, and there's some urgency with respect to the awards. We have a bid. This is the overall low bidder for pavilions. This is a 1-year contract for a variety of different kinds of pavilions. The overall low bidder recommended is Monahan Construction. And then we have the construction of the purchase and erection of storage buildings, also to Monahan Construction, who is the overall low bidder. Both of these are 1-year contracts.
And these bids are just normal operating procedure. This is nothing unusual?
No, sir, not unusual. Just the timing of them was today, and it just didn't make it on the paperwork you have.
Okay. The chair moves to amend 15F to include these items as mentioned by Mr. Taylor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Robinson. Any discussion of the amendment? Is everybody okay with adding that to the main motion? So all those in favor of the amendment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The amendment's been on. Now we're talking about the main motion. Is any questions on the main motion as amended? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. J is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter agreement between the City of Huntsville and Nola Van Person Architects, P.C. for architectural services for the new Aquatic Center addition located at 2213 Drake Avenue, Huntsville, Alabama, 35805. The chair moves for approval.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kling. Mr. Easter, could you explain this, please?
Yes, this is an architectural agreement for the addition to the natatorium at off Drake Avenue. This will include a 50-meter pool and a hydrotherapeutic pool. This will be an addition to the existing pool. This is for $1,144,000. It's a fixed fee architectural contract.
And I might mention to council, this is something new that we've done with the architectural contract. We requested proposals. We had a number of firms who gave proposals. We came down with 3 final firms, 3 finalists who made presentations. All 3 made great presentations. Any one of the 3 would have done a good job. We chose this firm because just because there were some aspects of it that we thought would come out a little bit better for the city. They are a local firm. They are consulting with a national firm who works with pools and aquatics. And this has been in the capital plan since 2007. It is now, and as year by year it has moved forward, and now over this next year it will come into fruition.
Thank you. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. We have 2 legal department items, transactions from vacation as a right-of-way. 1A is a resolution consenting to the vacation of a right-of-way along Lot 2, Calhoun Community College Place, Wind Drive. 1B is ordinance authorizing vacation of a right-of-way along Lot 2, Calhoun Community College Place, Wind Drive. The chair moves consolidation approval of 16B, 1A, and 1B.
Second.
Second by Ms. Kling. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It carries. We're now at non-roster communications from the public. Ms. Reed, sorry we missed you the first time. I'm surprised you didn't sign up, but please go ahead. State your name and address for the record.
Good evening. Anyway, thank you. I was told outside when you picked it up early that you would ask if anyone else would like to speak when you had communication from the public. You went right on by, just right on through. I'm back. Trust me, I'm back.
Would you like to speak?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
Will you allow me to speak?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not going to get rid of me this year that easy. Y'all are not going to do it. I was going to be good tonight, but you got me all stirred up. So, anyway, I just want to wish everyone a happy, safe, healthy, prosperous 2015. I see some good news and bad news that I have to bring up right here. I was going to be real good tonight, but since I missed signing up, and you picked up, I understand, the sign-up sheet 5 minutes before the meeting. Of course, it wasn't out there when I come in, but anyway, I appreciate you allowing the public input. Thanks for allowing the public to speak again. You know, you just brought up this $20 million new aquatic center. I guess that'd be good over on Drake Avenue. And that means you're going to shut the aquatic center down and the Scruggs Center down. I assume that's where you're headed, to give the Holiday Inn developer more property so he can develop over there. I think that's what you're going to do. I wish you would tell the public sometimes what your motives is when you do stuff like this. A lot of people do use the aquatic center and the Scruggs Center. There's nothing in the center of the city. You got the Shire Center, you got stuff in South Huntsville, you have nothing in the center of the city. And then I see you do the Quigley or the Meridian Street, more alcohol, walking streets and carrying on all over downtown. Why don't you just go ahead and open up the whole downtown and let them walk and drink where they want to? That's what I think you ought to do. A lot of people are against it, but y'all are for it. Open up the whole downtown and quit rerouting it around and just quiggling it around all over the city is the way I look at it. I am happy to see that you are going to tear down Joe Davis Stadium and look into doing something down there. I'm thankful for that. That'll be money well spent. This year, I would like for you to look at giving the city employees a bigger raise. I think they deserve it. I think it's a long time overdue. I would like to see this city council spend their money more wisely and for the good of all the people, not for just the big development, not for just downtown, our roads, traffic overflow. There's so much that we need to do. Empty buildings. I hope that you stop and take a look at some of the things that we need to be doing. It's not all about downtown. I'll hurry. Big Spring, I know you're fixing to get started back on the Big Spring again. Don't let that cost as much as that jail did on that. Don't keep putting that off and waiting and see how much it's going to cost. Because my son was laughing the other day and he said, well, I thought that would have been done, but now that Big Spring water hole over there. And I said, well, they got to get the trees up now so they get started on it again. I mean, it's just a lot of things. Thank you for letting me speak, and I promise you I will be back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak to the council? We're adjourned.